Ever wonder what made someone truly great? Not just famous, but like genuinely good. That's what we're diving into today. The essence of true virtue.
Okay, yeah.
And, who better to guide us than like a Roman emperor pondering the same thing?
Oh, interesting.
We're joining Marcus Aurelius as he reflects on the legendary Socrates
Okay.
in his personal writings, meditations.
I see.
It's like getting a glimpse into the mind of an emperor.
It's a unique lens to view Socrates through, wouldn't you say?
Totally. And get this, he starts book 7 with a question that feels like shockingly relevant even today.
Oh!
He's basically wondering, was Socrates all hype?
Interesting. So he's questioning what his authenticity?
Exactly. It's like he's zeroing in on this idea that outward actions, no matter how impressive, don't necessarily reveal what's truly within a person's heart.
It's a timeless dilemma, isn't it? Appearances versus substance.
Right. It's so easy to get swept up in appearances.
Absolutely. Think about it. We see it everywhere today. Influencers with seemingly perfect lives, politicians giving these rousing speeches. Even think about that coworker who always seems to have it all together.
Yeah. Or even closer to home. Think about how we present ourselves online or in professional settings.
Oh, for sure.
Are we emphasizing certain aspects, maybe hiding others to craft a specific image?
Right. Trying to control how we're perceived.
Exactly. And Aurelius might encourage us to spend less energy curating our persona and more time, cultivating the true essence of our character.
There you go. Tapping into that ancient Stoic wisdom. Because for Aurelius, true character resided in the qualities of one's soul, the inner self, not the outward performance.
This is where Aurelius's observations about Socrates get really fascinating. He paints a picture of Socrates' soul as this unshakable pillar of justice and piety.
Wow.
But not in a flashy, look at me kind of way. It was just him unwavering, genuine, always aligned with his values.
A true model integrity.
Exactly. And Aurelius highlights Socrates' remarkable resilience, especially in the face of challenges.
Right, which aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy.
Which emphasizes
finding inner peace by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our reactions to external events.
everything else.
Outside our control, not worth the mental energy.
So picture this. Socrates totally unfazed by, a long line at the market or a spilled drink on his tunic.
I can see it now.
Nothing could rattle his inner peace.
Well, perhaps not nothing, but you've captured the spirit of it. It's about nurturing that inner strength, that resilience, so we're not at the mercy of every external circumstance.
And here's what I find so refreshing about this. You don't need to be a philosopher in a toga to put this into practice.
Right.
It's about tapping into those universal qualities of character that transcend time and place. And it begs the question, what are your strengths? Those inherent qualities that make up your unique soul.
I like that. What are your tools for good?
Yes. Aurelius would argue those are your tools for living a virtuous life, no matter your job title, your background, any of that.
And it speaks to a crucial point. Aurelius makes you don't need a position of power or a platform to live a life defined by virtue.
It's inspiring.
It really is. And for Aurelius, this wasn't just some abstract philosophical idea,
Right.
Imagine the weight on his shoulders. Leading an empire.
During a time of plague and constant conflict.
Exactly. So it's no wonder he found comfort and strength in these Stoic principles.
It's like he's reminding himself and us that even when the world feels chaotic, we can still choose to act with virtue.
100%. One decision at a time.
Okay, I love that. So speaking of which, there's this really insightful section in Meditations. Book 7, section 40.
Okay.
Aurelius outlines his ideal approach to daily living, and it's powerful stuff.
Blow it on me. What does a Roman emperor's ideal day look like?
Well, get ready for a mini manifesto on living a meaningful life. Aurelius emphasizes being fully present in each moment, engaging authentically with the world and with others.
Right.
And always striving to act for the benefit of, both oneself and the greater good.
I like that. That's good.
I love that phrase, engaging authentically. It's so easy to just go through life on autopilot,
Totally.
But Aurelius is challenging us to be truly present, aware, and genuine in our interactions.
Precisely. And, notice there's no mention of external rewards or validation here.
Right.
This is a key tenet of Stoicism that I find incredibly compelling.
Because it shifts the focus, right?
Right.
It's not about doing good deeds just to get praise or recognition.
It's about duty and virtue as inherently valuable, not as stepping stones to something else.
Exactly. Like you do the right thing because it's the right thing to do,
Yeah.
not because you expect something in return.
Exactly, like that coworker who never says thank you when you go the extra mile.
Ugh, tell me about it.
You acted with genuine goodwill, so perhaps that's its own reward.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
So important to consider, though. Like, how often do we let those little slights or that lack of recognition derail us?
It's easy to let it get to you.
Right. What if we shifted our perspective and found fulfillment in the act itself?
It's a radical idea, in a way, to find contentment in simply doing the right thing. And Aurelius, ever the pragmatist, he offers this wonderfully, humanizing perspective in the next section.
Oh, yeah.
He basically says, look, if the gods, these immortal beings, can tolerate humanity's flaws for centuries, shouldn't we extend a little grace to ourselves and each other?
I love that. It reminds me that we're all works in progress, stumbling along, trying our best.
Even emperors.
Especially emperors.
Right. And there's a deeper philosophical layer here, too. Recognizing the impermanence of life, accepting that our time on this earth is finite, can really help us prioritize what truly matters.
It's like a cosmic reality check.
Exactly.
Is this argument, this frustration, this perceived slight, is it really worth our precious time and energy in the grand scheme of things?
Yeah. And that leads beautifully into Aurelius's advice in section 42.
Which is?
Be discerning with your attention.
Okay.
Focus your energy on things that align with reason and compassion. Because our attention, our focus, it's a finite resource.
It really is. And that is, way easier said than done in our modern world, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. I mean, we're bombarded with information from the moment we wake up to the moment our head hits the pillow.
So how do we even begin to filter all the noise? Choose where to direct our limited attention.
Now that, my friend, is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
But it's a question that Aurelius can help us grapple with, you know?
Yeah.
He's really compelling us to develop that inner compass, that inner filter that can guide us towards what's truly worthy of our time and energy.
It's like we need a spam filter for our minds, you know?
I like that, a spam filter for the soul.
Right. Something to help us block out the distractions and focus on what truly matters. And this idea of cultivating a discerning mind, it ties back into Aurelius's core message about virtue being its own reward.
Absolutely. In one of his most powerful statements, Aurelius reminds us that doing good shouldn't require external validation. The act itself, the intention behind it, it's inherently fulfilling.
It's a profound idea when you really think about it. It challenges us to, examine our motivations. When we act with kindness, generosity, integrity, are we seeking praise, recognition? Or are we finding satisfaction in the act itself?
It speaks to the essence of Socrates as well, wouldn't you say?
Totally.
I mean, he wasn't driven by fame or fortune. He sought wisdom, he sought virtue, and he remained true to those values, even in the face of death.
It's inspiring. Makes you think about the kind of impact we could have if we all embraced that same, unwavering commitment to doing good, quietly, consistently, without needing a standing ovation every time. What if we focus less on external validation and more on cultivating that inner compass, that Socratic spirit,
Yeah.
The one that guides us toward a life of purpose and meaning.
Now that's a thought worth pondering.
It really is. Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the soul of a philosopher.
Fascinating stuff.
Always a pleasure picking your brain. Thanks for joining us.
Anytime.
And to all our listeners out there, keep seeking wisdom and keep striving to embody those timeless virtues that make us truly great. Until next time, thanks for diving in.
Through the storms and the floods, I'll hold my ground while others falter. I'll never back down. With a heart of steel and a will so strong, I'll stand tall. I'll sing it. I won't be shaken, I won't be swayed. I'll face the fire unafraid. With a bendable resolve, I'll never break. I'll stand my ground for goodness sake. In the face of adversity, I won't fade. With every step I take, my spirit won't wane. Undefeatable, I'm undefeatable. In the echoes of the night where the shadows play, Marcus Aurelius guiding in a stoic way. If it's not right, don't do it in the rock guitar. In the symphony of virtue, we'll go far. Think of life as a bonus in the rock and roll. A dead man's view, a tale to be told. Very little is needed for a happy life. In the guitar strings, we cut through the strife. I won't be shaken, I won't be swayed. differently, change the melody, instead of craving final harmony. The memory of everything overwhelmed in time. In the rock ballad we find the climb. Do not indulge in dreams, reckon up the blessings true. In the rock rhythm find what's in you. Read with diligence, not a superficial sound. In the rock verse, let the wisdom resound. I won't be shaken, I won't be swayed. I'll face the fire unafraid. Unbreakable resolve, I'll never break. I'll stand my ground for the sake. In the face of adversity, I won't cave. With every step I take, my spirit won't wane. Undefeatable, I'm undefeatable.
A simple thank you is all that is necessary. It would make everyone feel a lot better. Poor self-image manifests itself in the way we handle our personal lives. You tell a youngster with a poor self-image that he ought to stay away from drugs, they'll kill you. And his response, at least internally, many times is, don't tell me that. My friends tell me that they make you feel good, make you feel big. Besides, suppose they're not good for me. What difference does it make? I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody. Got nothing to lose. A person with a good self-image would not respond in any such manner. You tell a youngster to study for his lessons and obey the law if he's got a poor self-image. Many times they're so negative they say it won't do me any good. You know, the deck's already stacked. I came on the wrong side of the tracks. The rich kids are going to get all of their breaks. Why shouldn't I have a little fun right now? You'd say to a youngster with a poor self-image, you really ought to save yourself for marriage. And their instant thinking is, who's going to marry me? What chance have I got? Why not I have a little fun now? That's what it's all about. My peer group tells me I've got to do these things to be accepted. Since I have nothing to lose, why not go ahead? An individual with a poor self-image is jealous without cause. Now, I'm not talking about jealousy for cause. Ladies, if he comes in smelling like joy and lipstick all over his collar, jealousy is not a manifestation of a poor self-image. That has nothing to do with it. But some people say, you know, oh, I just love him so much I can't let him out of my sight. Or I just love her so much I don't want her out of my sight. What they're really saying is, I don't understand why this person married me.
You'll ruin your life trying to make everyone happy. If you really want to know someone, look at the 5 people they talk to the most and spend the most time with. While we wait for life, life passes. Seneca. Just because you know how it's done doesn't mean it's not magic. People are great at keeping secrets they don't know.
You are not the mind or the body. You are the awareness that observes them. Nisargadatta Maharaj.
That logic is necessary. When one of those who were present said, "Persuade me that logic is necessary," he replied, "Do you wish me to prove this to you?" The answer was, "Yes." Then I must use a demonstrative form of speech. This was granted. How then will you know if I am cheating you by argument? The man was silent. "Do you see," said Epictetus, "that you yourself are admitting that logic is necessary? If without it you cannot know so much as this, whether logic is necessary or not necessary."
Planet is. To think lightly of yourself and deeply of this world is an invitation out of your ego, out of your insecurities, out of what you think you cannot do. It is to look beyond your program. It is to think of your legacy. It is to think of what you will leave behind. It is to think of your contribution and your impact. Even in this moment, in the midst of trial, in the midst of tribulation, Ask yourself the question, what can I contribute? You see, conflict is necessary. Trial is needed. It causes us to create, to be proactive, to be inventive. It moves us to become pioneers. What type of mark will you leave in the earth? What will be your legacy? Man has always been haunted by the vastness of eternity. And so we ask ourselves, when we are long gone, will our names remain? A man cannot understand the art he is studying if he only looks for the end result without taking the time to delve deeply into the reasoning of the study. Everything that you do, you need to ask yourself the question, why am I doing what I'm doing? See, everybody wants a ring, but nobody wants to practice. Practice makes progress. Practice brings us closer to the ring. Every time you get in that gym, every time you step on that field, every single moment that you study your craft, and you become a man.
Above all things, respect yourself. Inner peace begins the moment you choose not to allow another person or event to control your emotions. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. If you do not conquer self, you will be conquered by yourself. Having a weak body is a reflection of your broken mind. It is a reflection of your lack of willpower, discipline, and your piss-poor life choices.
Success is not what you have, but who you are. Jim Rohn.
What things we should exchange for other things. Keep this thought in readiness when you lose anything external, what you acquire in place of it. And if it be worth more, never say, I have had a loss. Neither if you have got a horse in place of an ass, or an ox in place of a sheep, nor a good action in place of a bit of money, nor in place of idle talk such tranquility as befits a man, nor in place of lewd talk if you have acquired modesty. If you remember this, you will always maintain your character such as it ought to be. But if you do not, consider that the times of opportunity are perishing, and that whatever pains you take about yourself, you are going to waste them all and overturn them. And it needs only a few things for the loss and overturning of all, namely a small deviation from reason. For the steerer of a ship to upset it, he has no need of the same means as he has need of for saving it. But if he turns it a little to the wind, it is lost. And if he does not do this purposely, but has been neglecting his duty a little, the ship is lost. Something of the kind happens in this case also. If you only fall to nodding a little, all that you have up to this time collected is gone. Attend therefore to the appearances of things, and watch over them. For that which you have to preserve is no small matter, but it is modesty and fidelity and constancy, freedom from the effects, a state of mind undisturbed, freedom from fear, tranquility, in a word, liberty. For what will you sell these things? See what is the value of the things which you will obtain in exchange for these. But shall I not obtain any such thing for it? See, and if you do in return get that, see what you receive in place of it. I possess decency. He possesses a tribuneship. B possesses a praetorship. I possess modesty. But I do not make acclamations where it is not becoming, I will not stand up where I ought not, for I am free and a friend of God, and so I obey him willingly. But I must not claim anything else, neither body nor possession nor magistracy nor good report, nor in fact anything, for he does not allow me to claim them. For if he had chosen, he would have made them good for me. But he has not done so, and for this reason I cannot transgress his commands. Preserve that which is your own good in everything, and as to every other thing as it is permitted, and so far as to behave consistently with reason in respect to them. Content with this only. If you do not, you will be unfortunate. You will fall in all things. You will be hindered